Thank you, sir.
Mr. Johnson? Hello, Mr. Johnson.
Hello?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Johnson, do you not have video on your system?
Yes, sir. I don't know why it's not showing me.
He's there, Judge.
All right. Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Mr. Johnson, in this proceeding, there are constitutional rights and protections that I want to discuss with you briefly, and then you will see them in the written documents all over the place. You will see them, and I'll ask you questions about them. First thing,
Yes, sir.
in a criminal proceeding in the courts in our country and in the state of Texas, you always have a right to remain silent unless you give up that right. That right means you don't have to make statements of any kind. You don't have to answer questions, and you don't have to submit written paperwork, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. You understand you have that right?
Yes, sir.
You also have the right to a jury trial. That's where 6 people selected from the community would hear the evidence and decide whether you're guilty or not. You also have the right to confront witnesses. That is, you and or your attorney would ask questions, cross-examine, and challenge any witness who would testify if you went to trial. You understand you have those rights.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to an appeal. An appeal basically is a right that you or your attorney or the two of you could exercise by properly in writing, demanding a higher court review the official record in this proceeding for whatever challenge you wanted to make. That's basically the right of appeal. You also have the right to have this hearing in a public courtroom. That right is suspended right now because of the fact that the COVID pandemic is going on. So we're not doing it in the public courtroom. Both the defense and the state have the right to demand that. And it's my impression that you're giving up that right and that you're requesting that we go ahead and do this proceeding, this hearing, by video conference through the computers as we're doing. Do you
Yes, sir.
understand? You understand that all those rights you're giving up in exchange for your plea in this matter? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you're giving those rights up freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, can you see the screen right now, the documents we're showing you?
Yes, sir.
The first document you're being shown, like all the other documents, with one exception, it's going to have at the top what you see right here. I call it basic information. At the very top, it says case number or cause number 619246. Then it says the state of Texas versus Lionel Franklin Johnson in County Court of Law number 5, Bexar County, Texas. That'll be pretty well the introduction to all the documents we're looking at. This particular document is identified as state's consent to video conference. A while ago, I said both you and the state have the right to have this matter in public courtroom. Well, the state in this document has signed an agreement, an acknowledgement that they are giving up the right to have this matter in public courtroom and are doing it by video conference. Did you see that document?
Yes, sir.
All right, now I'm showing you what's called discovery acknowledgement. It has the basic information at the top. This document talks about a law that's called Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. This document is signed by your attorney and by the state's attorney. They are acknowledging, they are agreeing that the law 39.14 has been obeyed and complied with by the state in providing you and your attorney the information, documents, videos, whatever that is part of this, the evidence in this case, and is necessary for you and your attorney to make an informed and intelligent decision. Do you see this document?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do you see that it is signed by the state and by your attorney? Now, the one I'm seeing does not have her signature. I presume that you have signed or will sign one, Ms. Calderola.
I thought I signed it, Your Honor, but I'll sign it again if I have to.
Okay, this is probably just on our screen for me to see it, but you probably have signed the original.
Your Honor, I can confirm that Ms. Calderola has signed these documents. However, at this stage, Mr. Johnson has not.
Okay, then he'll have to be at the courtroom to sign this or appear. The document shown you now, that's the one where it is in writing that you're giving up the right to have this conference or this hearing in a public courtroom. Do you see that document?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign one?
I haven't had the chance to sign anything. Can I get an email, all the documents, and fax them back?
I'm sure you will, or we'll have to appear in the courtroom. We'll take care of that because I understand there's a warrant for you. We're going to recall that warrant after this is finished, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you're being shown the document called Defendants Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Courts Admonitions. Did you review this with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right. At the top, it starts off with that basic information. Then it has 3 individual sentences that each one makes a important declaration. The very first sentence says, I, Lionel Franklin Johnson. And then it goes on to say, I don't need the judge to read to me the official document that accuses me of, and then it says in the second sentence, a DWI, driving while intoxicated, second.
It's his first offense, Your Honor.
Honest, is it?
Mhm.
It is
Okay.
not, sir.
Oh, it isn't? That's what I got appointed on. I don't know there was a second.
It's a DWI second,
All right.
but we are waiving the enhancement provision and proceeding as a DWI first.
All right.
All right. So at this point, this says that you understand that you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second. Then the third sentence says that he says, I hereby enter a plea of nolo contendere to DWI intoxicated, driving while intoxicated, which is DWI first. Do you understand that,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
All right. The rest of this document is divided into 15 numbered parts. The first part talks about the range of punishment for this case. It says that DWI first is punishable by a fine from $0 all the way to $2,000 and jail from 72 hours to 180 days in jail. Did you see that? The little check mark that says that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm not gonna read every one of these with you, but I do want to cover a couple of them. Number 2 says that you have a right to a jury trial, that you have a right to cross-examine witnesses, and you have a right to remain silent. And it says, I freely and voluntarily waive or give up those rights. Is that true and correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 3, have you ever had any kind of mental health problems?
Yes, sir.
And
Well, currently, but it's, just depression, anxiety type deal.
have you been given or taken medication for that problem?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you took that?
I take my medicine every day. I take a Zoloft, stuff like that for my depression.
You take it regularly?
Yes, sir.
Do you think it affects your ability to think and react and make good decisions?
No, no, sir.
All right. Ms. Calderola, do you have any reason to believe that your client has such mental health issues that would affect his ability to make decisions in this matter?
I do not, Your Honor.
Do you believe he understands what's going on?
I do.
All right. Number 8, Mr. Johnson, where were you born, sir?
Galveston, Texas, UTMB.
All right, so I find that you are a U.S. citizen. That's important to know and note for the record.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever had any kind of problems or been involved with the law involving sex offender issues?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, number 15 talks about what's called a risk and needs assessment. In this document, you are giving up that right because you could demand that I go and order that there be a study done to determine what the risks and needs are involved in your behavior and what's going on in this court. You understand that you're giving up that right?
Yes, sir.
And you either have or you're going to sign this document, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. It is already signed by the prosecutor, Mr. Andrew Harris Edelman, and I will be signing it too after you have signed it. This document, this new document now is called Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. There are a stack of vertical boxes, and next to each one there is a declaration concerning the right of appeal. The 5th box I'm going to mark, and I am certifying by doing that and by signing this document, I'm certifying that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And either you have or you will sign this document, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, there's going to be some documents now concerning what kind of probation are we talking about, Mr. Edelman?
We're not talking about probation, sir. We're talking about an adjudicated sentence.
Okay, very good. Can you scroll, Patricia, to the plea agreement?
Yes, sir, I'm getting it.
And do you have a filled out personal data sheet?
It's a JSAT, Judge. He
I
doesn't need it.
understand. I understand. Is there a personal data sheet?
No,
There
Your
is
Honor.
not, sir.
All right. Okay, now the document you're being shown is a little bit different at the top on what we call basic information. It has a state of Texas versus Lionel Franklin Johnson, case number 619246. Now, the first 2 boxes I am going to mark. The first one talks about the right to remain silent, and that you know and understand that you're giving up that right. The second box says, and I am finding that you are a U.S. citizen.
Yes, sir.
Then there's another section that starts off with Defendants Acknowledgements. This will require that you and your attorney mark all 5 boxes that talk about the different rights and protections that you have that you're giving up by entering into this plea agreement. Have you reviewed these 5 paragraphs that I'm referring to with the little boxes on the left side?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, the next section is about specific allegations. Mr. Edelman, is the state moving to waive and abandon the enhancement of DWI second?
State moves to waive and abandon the prior conviction enhancement and proceed as an unenhanced DWI.
All right. Defense, do you have any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
That box will be marked no objection by defense. Then I will be marking motions granted, or motion is granted. Then there's the following section says non-DWI allegations. That does not apply to you. Then we have The plea is at the bottom of the page, it says plea to the charge of DWI misdemeanor B, or known as DWI first. What is your plea, sir?
No contolo.
All right. No contest. Do you understand that a no contest plea is sufficient for me to find you guilty?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I am requiring that you appear within 60 days to provide a thumbprint as required by law on the different documents in this case, and to fill out any information that is not already on there. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You'll need to go to the courthouse, go to the hallway behind the courtroom, and finish the information and sign what you need to sign and provide your thumbprint. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you have pled no contest. I accept your plea and I find that you are guilty. You are sentenced to 1 day Bexar County Jail. You are assessed a fine of $0 and court costs of $0. You are credited for time served, time and money run concurrently. The court finds that you have satisfied the judgment and you are therefore free of any charges or any requirements from the state of Texas and of this court.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Judge.
All right. Now, Patricia, the only warrant he has is out of this court.
I can check that, Judge. Hold on.
It is my understanding that there is a warrant out of this court. If that's the case, I'm ordering that the warrant be recalled.
Yes, sir. It's the only one.
All right. I recall the warrant. You no longer have a warrant for your arrest.
When would it take effect, sir?
I'm sorry?
When would it go into effect?
In about 5 minutes when we get the papers done and Ms. Garcia or Ms. Linda Flores notes it on the computer that the warrant is recalled.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate that, Judge. Thank you.
No problem.
Judge,
And
Yes,
Judge,
ma'am.
what does he have to do to sign the papers? He has to come directly to, he has to come to your court, travel to your court?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, and that's within 60 days.
Judge,
No, that's got to be done quicker than that. The thumbprint is what's required right away.
Okay, so,
Ms. Garcia?
Judge, if he gave the correct email address to Mr. Edelman, the plea paperwork and all the paperwork that he needs to sign should have gone to him after Ms. Calderola signed hers.
Can I give you my email? I didn't receive an email from that. I think
okay,
of my girlfriend.
email that I got was
Her email.
that, the email I gave Andrew is the email that I have for you.